Alright guys, if you don't know about it, you need to know about it. It's Leftos's NBA Stats Tracker. Now, if you don't know what this tool is, it does amazing things with the statistics in NBA 2K13 and Real NBA and everything else. It's an amazing little, nifty little tool that has been Leftos's little amazing project for the past it's just, he's been working on this for forever. It's got over 30,000 lines of code or something like that. Man, he's going to 2K probably because of this damn tool. I don't know. I have no idea why else. It does amazing things that I'm going to try to show you, but there's no way in hell I can show you everything this tool does. You definitely need to go check out Leftos's own videos on the matter. I'll have a link in the description below. So, let's go ahead and load up 2K13, and let's load up, I have an association down here somewhere. Association 1. Now this association just had default settings, and I went ahead and just simulated an entire season. So can I still go to the calendar? Alright, I don't think I can show you guys, but it's just one simulated season. So what we first need to do is go to the Redditor. Now you need to have a license that allows you to open up association files. That's the only requirement. You don't need to be able to edit all these tabs unless you're going to import stuff back in. So hit CSV export. We'll call it vid3 because I may have failed this before. Go ahead and press export. Close this all up. So now in my temporary folder we have CSV files of everything in the roster for that. So in the tool itself, we're going to open a make a new database called vid3. If you want to be quick, dirty, quick and easy, you just go right to import from the save, select a folder where all the CSV files are in, press OK. Wait a second. All of this information is fantastic, but only if you're within the season updating this, every game or something like that, or in between games that you're sharing with people in your YouTube videos or your association stories or whatever. So we'll go ahead and press OK there. If you like the changes, if you want to verify that you wanted to change that, save current stats to database. Now everything's in the database. This is where this stuff gets amazing. So go to League Overview. It shows each of the teams how many games they've played, their win-loss record, just all these amazing stats just for the teams. Metric stats, injuries and contracts for all the players, and you can have Ultimate Team, so the first team, second team, third team, and the rookies teams, and these are all ranked based on the stats are weighted for each position. So if you get a point guard who blocks a lot of shots, he's going to be ranked higher than a point guard who just gets steals and assists like normal point guards. Same for centers who get a lot more steals than other, centers. So they're ranked higher than others. The best performers in the entire league. These are all based on the stats that are exported through the association file. So Leftos does a lot to get this all up and running in the background to make it presentable like this. And this isn't even the best part. So we got recommended 2K settings, which is great. You can export for the Redditor if you want to do that. But if you go to Team Overview, and let's pick my Celtics, see how they did. 29-53. Damn, they did terrible. But you can go to the roster and see injuries and other pertinent information right there with the contracts. You can go to best performers and you can see who the best performer on each team is. So this is really useful when you get into the 10th season of your association. You don't know who's good on a team or not. This will tell you who's doing great in the team or not. Recommended situationals for each of these different kind of settings that you would want. So who's playing the most minutes? There you go. Rebounds per game. It's not changing because these guys are amazing. There we go. 3-point attack. I got Raymond Felton. What the heck happened to my Celtics? Kaman! Ugh, someone made a dumb trade. So, you get a yearly report on the team. You can do matchup previews. Say there's an 83rd game against the Lakers. A nice little matchup thing right here that you can copy to the clipboard. And let's load up Writer real quick, this is like Word. Paste that in. And you can bring this into your association stories if you want to, if that's what you want to do, or YouTube videos. Have it nice, all formatted nicely. And you can go to Player Overview. And this is kind of like the other two, obviously, but it goes insane detail with the specific players. So let's take a look at Pierce, because it's me. He played 60 games this year out of the 82. You can compare him head-to-head with that bastard, Kobe, and take a look at all of his stats against each other. You can't do that. I'll get into that first. But you can also get his scouting report, which this is where I think he's gone just nuts with this thing. You can just pause the video and read this, but I mean, come on. He's number 2 in taking the ball away among his teammates for steals. And then significant stats against all the players, and you can scroll through and take a look at the different players on the team. So Rondo was first in steals per game, second in assists per game, second in assists total, third in... Just think about how great this information can be if you're doing some kind of a story progression, or even just for scouting. So let's say I'm going against, the Magic or something, and I want to know how Jameer Nelson's doing this year. 2K in-game isn't going to tell me this. And you can find it out, but not this specific, not this easily. Something that 2K definitely cannot give you is going through the player search. Now, let's say it's the off season. I want to know who is going to give me the best bang for my buck. So essentially, who's getting the most points for the least amount of money. So we're going to add contract year 1 for the player. We'll call this value. Why not? And we're going to divide this year's contract by total points. Why not? Now you can set this up and have it be as advanced as you want it to be. So you can take into account all of the contracts. You can take into account steals and other stats if you really want to. And just to avoid any infinity issues, we'll say, over that amount of money. Over. That's right. And we'll go to 2 decimal points because why not? Go ahead and hit search. What this will do is pop up, it's just every player in the game. And did I mess up I messed up. So go ahead and hit remove. I want this the other way around. Oops. Add. Add. Search. Oh no! I'm sorry, Leftos. I screwed something up. Alright, no biggie. We'll open up the database again. And player search, columns, contract 1. It's always something, right? We'll just do it basic and not try to do limiters and anything like that. It worked last video. I promise. 2 decimal points. Fantastic. So we'll get everybody this way. So it's contract year divided by points. So these infinity ones are people who didn't score any points but have contracts. They're bastards. But if you go here, Diop, Ryan Hollins, Jason Collins, Stiesma, Greggy Boy, Ginobili, these are the players that are the worst bang for the buck in terms of points. Hit this value button again, sort it the other way, and you find out who gets the best bang for their buck. Isaiah Thomas gets a point for every $727 you put into him. Antoine Jameson, Vasquez, Kenneth Farid. These are the players that get the most points per dollar. I don't know. This is stuff that I think would be really useful for free agency, trying to pick up players who are going to produce without having to spend a lot of money, or even for trading for people. So it gets so much better and worse, however you want to put it, than this. So let's start a new database. We'll call it Real NBA. Actually, before we do that, let's load up. This is PTAR's database from the NLSC. Now what he's done is if you do an import after every single game, it will let you generate box scores for that game. Now the box scores are not readily available to export like in CSV files like everything else is. However, if you take a look at the team stats and the player stats before a game and after a game, you can extrapolate out the box scores, which is what Leftos did here. So what this requires you to do is to simulate up to a game, and then export the file and put it into here. Play the game or simulate the game, and then you export again. And this tool will extrapolate out what happened in that game, who did what, and that's how all those zeros and infinities and stuff come into play. Now what Pitar has done here is that normally people would do this just for your team. So before the Celtics and after the Celtics game, I would do an export like this just so I could see my before and after just for the Celtics, but every other team would be screwed up because I wasn't doing every single box score for them. Pitar has done this for every single team in the NBA up to a certain point. So let's go to player overview, and I'll show you what this does different. Celtics, let's see how Piercy Boy is doing. Now we get split stats. Now we get specific box scores. Now we get his best performances of this season and against who, and performance graphs and how they're doing on in certain different columns of stats. I'm sorry, I am speechless at how amazing this is. And you can go back to the previous season if you want, which hopefully this doesn't crash again. How many split stats do we have for this? So this is an entire season. So performance graph, let's take a look at 3-pointers made. Alright, that's not going to work. But we still get the scouting report. Oh, he didn't do it for the previous season. That's why. My bad. I didn't know. So, yes. All the things that were zeroed out before with split stats and everything else, if you do it with the box score, it's not that complicated, but it does take a little bit more time. You have to load up the association every time in the Redditor and export the file, then import it back in, and you get the idea. Now, what the other great thing about this is that you can go to Real NBA, creating a new database here, and download NBA stats. And this is all from basketballreference.com. So you know these stats are legit, great, and everything. And I don't know why it's taking so long to download, but it is kind of a big file. And done. So we'll save the database. Player overview. Let's see how the real life Paul Pierce is doing. So he played in 77 games. We don't have box scores and everything, but we still have the scouting report. And this is for the real NBA. And what's neat about this is you can compare the real life. I wanted to go to league overview, Ultimate Team, and you can check out who Leftos thinks should be the all league teams and everything. Fan-freaking-tastic. So I guess the last thing I will show you guys, let's open up my database again, is how to advance to the next season. So let's simulate through the playoffs. Good for the Heat. Good for Dwayne Wade. Yay, everyone's retiring. Good for you guys. Good for you guys. Yay. Through. And yay, okay, come on. Advance to the next season. Auto-generate rookies. Come on. And then we're going to go to calendar. Simulate all the way to the end of the season again. All the games. Oh, the Celtics are blowing up again. Oh, no. Continue. Ugh, that is a filthy record. Okay, so we have everything again. Let's go to headlines, save the association, go to Redditor, close it, and open it up again. Go ahead and export the CSV file again, close, minimize, and you go to the stats tracker. Close that. So we're in the database. We now start a new season, irreversible action, so make sure you're really ready to do this for the new season 2. So we can save the database, import from the save, and it compares everything that's changed in that last season since I loaded it up again. So remember, if you do this every week in the game, all the changes that show up in League News here is from that week. Save the database, and just like before, now we're just in the next season, and everything's all split out nicely and happy. Hey, he played in all 82 games this year, except he didn't start in 2 of them for some reason. And we don't have split stats because I didn't do each game. But we got the scouting report again. Ugh, he's not doing as well. So, I mean, it's an amazing tool. And if you're doing an association story or a YouTube and you want to share these advanced stats with people, he makes it very easy with that clipboard thing. You have to check this out. If not for the thing that I showed you at first. It's a very deep and detailed tool. You can go very deep and add your own custom box scores that you type in yourself. You can add teams and players if you need to. And you can export out into the saves. There's so much you can do with this tool that I didn't even go into the stats calculator. Because honestly, this thing scares me. But essentially, you can say, Pierce in season 2. Oops. When Paul Pierce gets points that are greater than his, well, let's say better than 15 points. Search. Well, yeah, duh. The reason this doesn't work is because you need to have the box scores. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm overwhelmed. But if you just do the basic thing I did at the beginning, where you export at any given time, and you import it into this tool, and it gives you everything that you've had in there since the last export, you can do great things that add presentation value to your YouTube, to stories, to whatever you're trying to do. And this is where the Rabbit Hole project came from, as an idea. Well, not as an idea. It was from me from a long, long time ago. But I mean, this is what made it practical, and it is amazing. That's the best way I can say it. So, at the very least, watch the first couple of minutes of this video and stop when I start loading up different databases and everything. At the very least, anyone should be able to do that. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like this tool as much as I do. And I hope that wasn't too confusing, because I get confused and lost when I get deeper into this. But that's why you should definitely watch it, Leftos' videos on it, because he's a lot smarter than me. He made the damn thing. And I'm sure that you guys are smarter than me too and can understand this too. So, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video.